Ambush shooting. Multiple people injured at a congressional baseball practice outside D.C. this morning. Police say the suspect walked up and opened fire on congressmen, staff members, and Capitol Police at the field in Alexandria, Virginia. 4 people are shot and wounded, including House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, before the gunman was killed by police. WJZ is live with complete coverage. George Solis reveals what we know about the gunman's history. Ava Joy Burnett is live on Capitol Hill with reaction from fellow lawmakers. But we begin with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren live in Alexandria with the condition of the victims and what we know now. Mike.
Vic, we learned tonight that President Trump made a surprise visit to the hospital to see injured Representative Steve Scalise, who remains in critical condition. He has to undergo several more surgeries. The injured officers will survive this, but the gunman died in his battle with officers. A bystander captured the terrifying moments when a well-armed gunman, angry at President Trump, opened fire on congressional Republicans in Alexandria, Virginia, as they practiced for a charity baseball game. He wounded powerful congressional leader Steve Scalise.
We were sitting ducks. I mean, we had nothing to fight back with but bats if it got to that.
And I hear the big blam, and I thought it was a car backfiring at first until I see the rifle barrel.
The FBI confirms suspect James Hodgkinson from Southern Illinois had been living in his cargo van for months. Unemployed, he ranted against Republicans on Facebook and had a criminal record. Alexandria's former mayor would visit with Hodgkinson at the YMCA near the crime scene that he frequented.
I would have never suspected that he would have done what he did simply because he didn't demonstrate any of those tendencies.
5 people were shot. Among the wounded, a Capitol Police officer from Maryland. And among those who ran for cover, a Texas congressman's 10-year-old son.
He had 25 dads. Everybody out there was looking out for him, not just me.
Hundreds marched to the scene of the tragedy to show unity in this rattled D.C. suburb.
I think it's important for us to show that we're not going to change our lives because of an incident that happened here.
Police continue to trace the well-armed shooter's 2 weapons and try to get inside his mind, find out why he did this, as lawmakers now consider greater security.
Special Agent Slater, did he have a vendetta against Republicans?
I have no comment on that.
In addition to the march here tonight, we also saw several vigils, people saying this is not what America is all about. And the FBI and other police agencies will continue to maintain a presence here as they try to piece this puzzle together. Live at the scene in Alexandria, Virginia, Mike Helgren, WJZ, Eyewitness News.
Mike, thank you. WJZ's complete coverage continues now with Ava Joy Burnett, live at the U.S. Capitol with how lawmakers are reacting to the violence. Ava Joy.
Vic, good evening to you. This is a situation that hit so close to home for so many members of Congress, either because they could have been at that ballpark or they knew someone who was. The attack about 7 miles south of the U.S. Capitol drew raw emotions from members of Congress.
I was on my way to the Capitol. I heard it on the radio. I couldn't believe it. I was outraged.
Maryland's Dutch Ruppersberger, clearly angry, said the game GOP members were practicing for represented a sign of unity.
I mean, here we have members of Congress that are going to play in a baseball contest tomorrow for charity, coming together in a bipartisan way. And, you know, instead of practicing baseball, our members are dodging bullets instead of baseballs.
Today, there was camaraderie rarely seen at the U.S. Capitol from the Republican Speaker.
An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
To the Democratic Minority Leader.
We are not one caucus or the other in this House today, but we speak for each other in saying that we send our thoughts and prayers to our colleague, Steve Scalise.
Just about 4 miles from the U.S. Capitol, where there was overwhelming support for the victims, Representative Steve Scalise, who was shot in the hip, underwent surgery here at MedStar Washington Hospital. Once again, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle agree on yet another subject that, had it not been for Capitol Police, this state could have been much more tragic.
I know many of the members of the baseball team who were there. I was worried about it, but then again, as we found out, the Capitol Police, they put their lives on the line, to save many lives today down there. So I was very thankful about that.
There was an increased police presence here at the U.S. Capitol today, both inside and out. Reporting live in the nation's capital, I'm Avajoy Burnett, WJZ Eyewitness News.
Avajoy, thank you. WJZ's live complete coverage continues now. George Solis has new information on the gunman who was killed by Congressional police. George.
Good evening, Vic. Hawkinson's social media accounts portrayed him as a very politically active individual. Some believe that may have even been the motivation behind today's attack. And a deeper dive into his background reveals a man who was no stranger to authorities. 66-year-old James Hodgkinson was not shy about expressing his political ideology. On his Facebook page, the Belleville, Illinois native posting a number of anti-Republican posts, many geared against the president. Trump is a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy, he wrote on March 22nd. It's time to destroy Trump and company. In 2015, he posted a cartoon about Congressman Steve Scalise, writing, "Here's a Republican that should lose his job, but they gave him a raise instead." Authorities identified Hodgkinson Wednesday as the gunman responsible for the shooting of the congressman and 4 others. A friend of Hodgkinson described him as stubborn and opinionated.
I just want to let people know that he wasn't evil, that he was, I guess, tired of some of the politics that are going on.
Last year, Hodgkinson worked as a volunteer for the Bernie Sanders campaign. Sanders reacting to the tragedy on the Senate floor.
I am sickened by this despicable act.
Records show Hodgkinson owned a home inspection business. However, his license expired in November of 2016. Court records in Illinois show in 2006 he was cited with domestic battery for an incident in which he punched a woman in the face and threatened another man with a shotgun. 3 months ago, a report shows police were called out to a complaint of a man shooting in the pine trees that turned out to be Hodgkinson. He reportedly did own a valid license for his gun. Authorities say both weapons carried by Hodgkinson during Wednesday's attack are now being traced by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Now, a source tells CBS News Hodgkinson had been living in Illinois for some time now and was likely living out of a van in Alexandria. We're live tonight. George Solis, WJZ Eyewitness News.
George, thank you. And here's what you need to know about the Alexandria shooting. 4 people were shot, including Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise. He is in critical condition and will need to undergo additional surgeries. Members of the Capitol Police returned fire, killing the gunman James Hodgkinson of Illinois. His social media accounts showing he disagreed with the policies of President Trump and Republicans. The bipartisan charity baseball game still is planned for tomorrow.